This is a tutorial on how to work with multiple colors when you're crocheting, and I'm talking about when you don't want to be switching, when you don't want to be cutting the yarn in between color changes. On a hat like this, where I'm changing colors every 7 stitches or so, I definitely don't want to be cutting the yarn every time, and so instead I want to make sure that the colors I'm not using are available when I need them, which means I'm working them into the different stitches. Most of this hat is made with single crochets, as you see down here. I'm currently working on the band, which is made with front post double crochets and front post single crochets. But for now, let's pretend I'm working on the body of the hat, which is made with single crochets, so I can show you how to work with multiple colors when you're doing single crochets. This would also work for double crochets or half double crochets or anything else that's worked as a regular stitch rather than being worked around the post, like a front post or back post stitch is. So right now I'm working with kind of this blue-green color, and my extra 2 colors are cream and orange. When I'm coming into a stitch to do a single crochet, I go in through the front as usual, and I take these extra 2 colors and I make sure that they are over my hook. See how they're over it, not under it? Make sure they're over my hook. Now I'm not going to pull them through the fabric, I just want to make sure they're over it. Now I'm going to do my regular yarn over with my blue-green color. Pull my blue-green color through, so I'm not pulling those other 2 colors through. I'm just pulling the blue-green color through and completing my stitch. Now, let's get this. You can see that these other 2 colors, you can kind of see them between the stitches. That's just because I need to tug them tight. And now they're nice and tight, kind of within the stitch. Let me show you that again. Single crochet coming in through the front. Make sure that my extra 2 colors are over my hook. See, they're over my hook here. Do my regular yarn over with the color I'm working with, pull it through, finish my stitch, and take these extra colors and pull them snug so that they're staying within that stitch. Now let's look at what we do when it's time to change colors. Let's say that I have 1 more stitch of blue-green and my next stitch is going to be white, okay? If that's the case, I come in, make sure again that my extra 2 colors are over my hook, grab my blue-green, pull it through. On my final yarn over, instead of using blue-green, I'm going to switch to my next color that I want for my next stitch, which in this case is white. So I'm yarning over with white, pulling that through, and now I have white and it's ready for my next stitch. I'm pulling all my different colors nice and snug, and now I'm ready to work with white. So the whole idea with a color change, it's really easy. Whatever stitch you're doing, make sure that on the stitch prior to the color change, in other words, the last stitch of the first color you're using, on that final stitch, make sure your last yarn over is done with your new color. So if you're doing a double crochet, you would work the entire double crochet except that last yarn over would be done with your new color that you want for your next stitch. All right, let's pull out these single crochets. Since we are actually working on a band that's supposed to be front post double crochets and back post double crochets. All right, on front post and back post stitches, it's a little bit different when we're working with multiple colors. I don't try to work in those extra colors on my back post stitches. Maybe some people do, but because we're coming in from the back, I just think it would be kind of harder to work those colors in. So I just do a regular back post stitch. Coming in from the back, I caught my, whoops, I just remembered these are not supposed to be single, they're supposed to be double. I should have yarned over. Okay, yarn over, come in through the back. I'm having trouble with this stitch. Okay, regular back post double crochet. Finishing that up. By the way, this isn't meant to be a front post or back post double crochet tutorial, so if you're not sure how to do that stitch, just search for it on YouTube and you'll find tutorial videos for it. All right, I just did a regular back post double crochet stitch. On the front post stitch, that's when I'm trying to work these extra colors in, okay? So I'm going to yarn over, come in through the front like I would always do for a front post double crochet. I'm along the back here. I'm going to make sure that these extra colors are over my hook, just like we did before. Basically, I'm just catching them with the hook, but I'm not going to pull them through. Coming back into the front, yarn over with the color I'm using. Pull that color through without pulling those extra colors through, okay? Sometimes your hook will try to catch those extra colors. We don't want that. So we pulled that color through. I'm going to finish my front post stitch, front post double crochet stitch. Once again, I'm going to take these extra colors from the back, they're a little further down now, and pull them snug, not too tight, but just snug. I've got another back post stitch. I'm just going to work that like I normally would, not even thinking too much about all those extra colors. Man, I'm having trouble with my back post stitches. Sorry if the video is getting blurry. Let me just look at this, get this back post stitch done. All right, one more front post stitch here. I'm going to yarn over, go in through the front, make sure that my extra two colors are over my hook, okay. Come in from the back, so now I'm back in front. I gotta find there it is. There's the color I'm working with, which is still this bluish greenish, pulling it in and completing my front post double crochet stitch. And as always, taking those extra two colors that are in the back and pulling them snug. I have one more stitch of this color to do before I switch to white. So I'm going to go ahead and work all of this back post double crochet stitch except the final yarn over. So let's pull this through. I can't seem to get it. Pull it through. There we go. Yarn over once. Okay, I'm at the point of my final yarn over of my back post double crochet. I'm going to take my cream color, yarn over with that, and pull it through on that last yarn over, and now I'm ready to work with cream on my next stitch because I pulled that cream through as my last yarn over on my previous stitch. And now I would just keep going with cream, and I'd be working the orange and the green in on the back of what I'm making with my front post double crochet stitches. Now obviously if you have something that is supposed to be reversible, something maybe like a scarf where you want both sides to look nice, you're going to need to find a way to work those extra colors into your back post stitches too, or you're going to have to just do really frequent cutting and working in ends. But for a hat like this, it actually still looks pretty good in the back, even when I'm only catching the extra colors every other stitch. So you see where those extra colors are caught? It's every other stitch. That's just on the front post stitches. And the colors are just carried along the back on the back post stitches. However, on these single crochets, you can see how I carry the colors through. I try to do it on every stitch. Every so often I miss one, but I try to carry the colors through on every stitch, and it actually makes the back of it look really quite nice, even though every single stitch of this hat, except at the very beginning, every single stitch is really is kind of comprised of all three colors. It's just two of the colors are just carried through the middle of the stitch, and they're kind of on the ins. They're like hidden inside each stitch. Hope that makes sense, and I hope that helps you with color changes.